Daniel Ricciardo is poised to step away from the F1 grid in 2023 after losing his seat with McLaren. F1 expert Ted Kravitz claims that there has been a twist regarding Daniel Ricciardo's future, with the axed McLaren star eyeing up a reserve role at either Red Bull or Mercedes. While it was widely reported that Red Bull led the way, it now appears as though the Silver Arrows could land the Aussie as backup for Lewis Hamilton and George Russell. A torrid two-year spell at McLaren is set to come to an end for Ricciardo at the end of the season. Despite notching a famous win in Monza last year, he trailed a long way behind teammate Lando Norris in the points standings and has done so again this time around, with almost every seat on the grid already filled. The eight-time Grand Prix winner has been left in a sticky situation. Ricciardo has already admitted that he won't be on the grid in 2023, but a reserve driver role with either Mercedes or Red Bull is expected. In a long-running saga, Kravitz initially explained to Sky Sports that Red Bull was the most likely destination. He might not have a race drive for next year, but I do understand he has closed out a reserve driver drive next year, he said. So he told us on Thursday, he will be around the F1 paddock next year. We thought Mercedes, because they now have a vacancy given that Nick de Vries, their reserve driver, is going to AlphaTauri. I'm told it's not Mercedes. So that only leaves Red Bull, the only two teams who have a reserve driver on hand at every race. When questioned on his future in Austin over the weekend, Ricciardo denied that anything had been signed. A full-time seat with Haas has been touted as a possibility, with Mick Schumacher's performances leaving plenty to be desired, but the Aussie is seemingly keen to wait for a better opportunity to come his way. Days after his initial report, Kravitz claims that the pendulum has now swung in Mercedes' direction. "You know, I said he seems to be closing in on a reserve driver job with one of the two big teams. I thought it was more likely to be Red Bull than Mercedes," he explained. "Can I reverse that? Edit that? It's more likely to be Mercedes than Red Bull. Danny Ric in a Mercedes outfit. I've seen stranger in Formula One." Mercedes star Hamilton has already discussed Ricciardo's situation, suggesting that the 33-year-old is too good for a reserve role and has earned the right to battle it out among the F1 stars. The McLaren driver endured another miserable weekend at the United States Grand Prix, qualifying 17th, while Norris made it into Q3. Things only got worse on race day as Ricciardo languished towards the back of the pack with Nicholas Latifi. After crossing the line in 16th, second last of the finishers, he delivered a dejected interview. "I have no idea what to say," he said. "Honestly, it's 2022, it's been just so far off the pace that I simply can't lean on the car, can't push, can't get the time out of it. Also, the inconsistency of the lap times, it shows that it can really be a struggle, but to have such a big margin again remains a mystery. I love Texas, I love Austin, but that race itself for me was not enjoyable. When you think it can't get worse, it does. I don't know how I am continuing to continue, because painful is an understatement."